Folks, we are doing a video tonight. So this is going to be, I guess, an ongoing sort of thing that I guess I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to be in the process as well of doing a couple more bands. I've got some stuff for the VC I want to do too. And basically, to make this video happen, I had to take some time literally out of a very busy day today. The kiddo was eating supper, wife was just chilling, and she's exhausted, so she's hanging upstairs in our bedroom. I'm going to be getting there shortly after this, so I won't take up too much of your time. So, you guys remember when I did the Black Sabbath video, right? So I got a request, and this was a couple of weeks ago, from my good friend Dan Hodgson, who is the lead singer of Death Valley Driver, and also a new band, which the name escapes me. That's terrible. Dan, shred me, sir, in the comments if you need to. It's like a black metal band, and from what I've heard, it's fucking amazing. So, that all having been said and out of the way, it's Testament time. So this band was mentioned to me, like I said, by Dan, as I said at the end of the Sabbath one. He said, "Hey, pick another band. Let me see who do you guys want to see?" And Dan was the first one to comment on my Instagram and said Testament. So obviously, I'm going to do this based off of my knowledge of them and a very brief amount of history. You guys know the story, but I really shortened it big time. And of course, I did mention some other things in there as well. So there is some history, but it's kind of like a timeline of where I'm at with these guys. So formed obviously in 1983 under the name of Legacy, featuring the lineup of Eric Peterson, who has basically been the sole man behind the entire band, right from formation. His cousin on guitar, Derek Ramirez, Luis Clemente on drums, who's been in and out a couple times, Steve Souza, Zetro, also more notable of Exodus on lead vocals, and Greg Christian on bass, who, again, also in and out. You're going to see a lot of this in and out business later on. Okay, so they played gigs with Slayer, Death Angel, Laz Rocket, and many more. Clemente leaves in 1985. In comes Mike Ronchett. Then after that, Ramirez leaves, and in comes Alex Skolnick, who is probably by far one of the most amazing guitar players to ever fucking grace thrash metal. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I hold him in higher regards than Kirk and James and Metallica. That's for another day. Okay. Nothing. Obviously, James is one of the greatest of all time. Kirk's one of the greatest. Alex is just Alex is better, my opinion. Shortly after that, Zetro leaves to go and sing for Exodus. Then in comes Chuck Billy to take over for his position on the vocals. Clemente returns to the drum throne. So Legacy, the debut record, gets released on Megaforce Records, as a lot of you guys do know. So if you're wondering why I'm looking up, obviously my notes as usual. And they had to change the name to what we now know as Testament. So the band releases New World Order, Practice What You Preach, and probably one of the darkest thrash records, I think, in my personal opinion, Souls of Black. They're classified as a leader of the second wave of thrash bands in the Bay Area. Now, when I say second wave, I don't mean 20 years down the road. I mean, you had, obviously, Metallica, Slayer, and Exodus in the Bay Area, and then Testament was shortly after that. A couple years after, to be exact. Now, this band, for me, as we know, has had numerous lineup changes in and out, leaving, firings, yada, yada, yada. Of course, with these 4 records that I previously mentioned, the band's popularity soared right to the fucking roof. Like, they went from here to here in a matter of that. So, then, of course, with member changes, they also come new records. Low, Demonic, The Gathering. Now, Low is where Chuck, as far as I can remember, is pretty much the epitome of when he started the low, guttural sort of growl that he does. And I don't mean Cannibal Corpse, George Fisher, or even lower than that, like Chris Barnes. He just adds the lowness as a tone. You know, when we look at the and of course those 3 records are amazing. The rhythm section on The Gathering is probably by far one of the craziest rhythm sections I think I've ever even heard. Dave Lombardo on drums, Steve DiGiorgio on bass. That guy is like, he plays a 3-string fretless. This guy is an absolute lunatic. And he plays some of the absolute best versions on the bass in Testament. And he's still a current member. And last but not least, a man who showed up in James Murphy, who is formerly of Cancer, Death, and Obituary. Now, also new members on those other 3 records are Paul Bostaph on drums, John Tempesta on drums, and as I mentioned, James Murphy, which to me is just absolutely mind-boggling. Then the health issues hit. So James Murphy eventually, later on, was diagnosed with a brain tumor, was able to get was able to get the surgery that he needed, recovered from it, but then subsequently had no memory that he was on The Gathering, apparently. He couldn't remember any of it. Chuck Billy had a rare form of testicular cancer. Now, I don't know if it was testicular cancer, because I've seen a few things about that, but I also know that he had throat cancer, apparently, at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which, of course, was also, yet again, treated successfully. More lineup changes, and then First Strike Till Deadly, which is a re-record of a few previous tunes. Into the Pit is probably by far that's one of my favorite versions of any Testament song, period. Next to Souls of Black. Okay. Oh, sorry, it was a long day. And then, of course, Formation of Damnation gets released. Then The Dark Roots of the Earth gets released. Brotherhood of the Snake gets released. All to huge success. And I think probably Formation, if I was to rank them, it would be Formation of Damnation, probably, and then Dark Roots, and then Brotherhood. And obviously that's in actual chronological order, but I think if you look at what records were the better ones, it's definitely going to be Dark Roots and Brotherhood, because those are the absolute best out of those 3. It's like, 2 out of 3 ain't bad kind of thing. More lineup changes. Seeing Greg Christian out. Greg Christian, he also left, and there was actually a bit of a squabble going on there. He came back for Formation of Damnation and the subsequent tour, which I was able to see them on with Megadeth and Slayer, which was fucking badass. Testament stole the show, bar none. And Steve DiGiorgio coming back, who has now been pretty much a permanent member ever since the Brotherhood tour, I think. Gene Hoglan comes in to take over for the drum. It's like, you got Gene, you got Alex, you got Eric, you got Chuck, and, like, what a band. Holy shit. And then they, of course, sticking with those 5 guys, they go and they release Titans of Creation, which, essentially, out of the last good 20 years, that's probably the best record I think that they released. It's banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, as far as I'm concerned. And that's no slight on Brotherhood of the Snake or even Dark Roots of the Earth. Those are absolute bangers. And then, of course, Formation of Damnation. Formation of Damnation, or Formation and Damnation, which I also own. Titans just comes out and it just hammers the shit out of you. Like, goddamn. Like Curse of Osiris. Jesus, just put that on and listen to that on repeat. I'll be surprised if it kicks your ass and more of the song grows on you over time. So guys, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I do apologize for the yawning. It's been a long weekend. And there I go again, back to the yawning. And it's early. It's like 7:22 Atlantic time, which should be like 6:22 Toronto and, Lower Maine. But say la vie, it's been, like I said, it's been a great weekend, but long and tiring. So, life when you're busy, I guess. Anywho, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope to get, as I say, I got another video to do for the VC and for the vinyl and music community guys. Also, I do have to do one of these for another band, Metallica. I'm gonna do one, and that's gonna be longer. It's gonna be kind of my take on all of the records, instead of me talking like I did with on this like how I did this one here for Testament and the one I did for Sabbath. I'm gonna talk about each record. I'm gonna go through them and I'm gonna do my thing, and people are gonna like it. People are not gonna like it, but it's got to get done. And then over the next little bit, there's going to be some changes with me in music. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not done. I'm still going to be making just different things, as it were. So, thank you guys for sticking around. And after the next couple videos that I'm going to do, and after some band things I'm going to do, tell me what you want, which other band you want me to do in this sort of style. If you dig this, share the fuck out of it, retweet it, hit the like button, guys. Let me know what bands you would like me to do in the future. I'm down for doing a bunch. If I don't own any records, what I'll do is I'll check them out on obviously on Spotify and YouTube. You let me know, and we'll go from there. So yeah, Metallica's next for this. I might do In Flames. I might wait and do AC/DC. But then again, it depends on what you guys want. If you guys have another band that you think that I would do a really good job on this, let me know. And we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Keep kicking ass and rest up.